Test, test, my voice in the stream.
Hello?
Good evening, Anons.
Yo, what's good?
It's time to learn some music. So, I'm assuming everyone can hear us. If not, F. But I am. Oh yeah, I can hear. I can hear. Okay, yep. The stream is playing at the same time. That's distracting. Okay, I am Sciences or Sound Guy or King Fat Plony. Many names.
Many names. I got many names too. It's me, Massa, aka NDF, aka a bunch of other shit. You can just call me Massa for today.
So, we are going to just kind of go over some, just kind of general how to make music. I'm not sure if anyone has any like specifics they kind of want to go over, since there is a lot to cover when it comes down to like doing this. I'm sure some of you in the chat also do music and will probably criticize us and call us cringe, but it's okay. We are cringe.
Yeah, this is chat interactive. So chat, you say shit, we'll read it.
Yeah,
We'll
this
see
is
what you need.
very chat interactive because there is a lot to go over when it comes to making music. But we're gonna kind of start with like the general, just overview of things and some tools you'll want to get started on this, or anyone's looking for just to where to begin, because there is a lot to do. So
Yeah,
gotta see
basically,
how far we can condense this.
if you don't know how to make music at all, you complete retard. This is a good way to start. Basically,
Because we're also complete retards and we're cringe. Yes.
speak for yourself.
Okay. So first thing you need is a DAW. Now, there
What
are
is a
many.
DAW? You might ask.
It stands for Digital Audio Workstation. This is
There you
what you
go.
use to make your music in. It's like the Photoshop of music. That, or you just type something in the AI and hope for the best. So, the one I use is one that no one uses because the company that makes it sucks fat monkey dick, like actually like stallion penis in their mouth. Pro Tools. I've been using this a while, and this is what I'll be using. Just kind of go over a song that we're working on that I'll be kind of redoing for the PlonyTones.
Mm-hmm.
The one that Massa uses
I use
is
FL
FL
Studio.
Studio,
Yeah.
which looks like this, and you've probably all know of FL Studio, and you can totally not download it for free, easy off the internet.
Nope. I wouldn't have any kind of special links or downloads for a special version of FL if anyone wants to know. But no, I have the official FL. So.
Yeah, Evan sucks.
Hey, I get to own my copy. How do you feel?
Okay, you can own Pro Tools now. They actually allow you to do that. Blessed corporations allow you to own Pro Tools now.
Finally.
So, okay. So first thing is to download one of these. I would suggest honestly getting either FL Studio or getting Reaper is the other one. FL Studio is like if you want to make beats, fat like pony beats. FL Studio is really good for that.
I make trash ass pony beats. Like, etchy shit is way better than mine. That set was heat. But I try to make some shit. Yeah, it's very what's the word I'd look for? Sample heavy. You get a lot of good samples, mix it, match it. It's pretty good for that. But for like composing and making complete different instruments, I think other DAWs are better for that.
Yeah, like Reaper is basically the good free alternative to Pro Tools that I recommend to everyone because you can do music in that, you can record easy in it, you can cut your vocals up into it. Like it's a good all around DAW. I would highly suggest anyone wanting to start this either using Reaper or FL Studio. Yeah, Reaper is a WinRAR freeze type of please pay us money type of thing. So, but still good. Okay, so once you download those, from there, a lot of these will come with some virtual instruments in and of themselves, which are what you use to actually make the sounds. If if you want to load up some, just kind of show some instruments that you're using for FL Studio for your
Some
hot
instruments.
track. Yeah, just kind of like, because usually with a song, there's a couple things. You have a drums, you have bass.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. Let me just make a new folder.
The Plony, oh man, I love Plony.
Oh my god! All right, dude. All right, so for me, I have programs that you actually pay money for. I have let's see, where is it? How do I get to it again? I have Omnisphere, which is pretty much a generation based thing. Let's see. It's a sound library, a bunch of samples, mash up. You can make a bunch of different sounds with it if it'll load.
Because FL comes with a bunch of free stuff too, right?
Oh yeah. FL comes with free sound. Let's see.
Because we're just going to assume everyone here is poor and has no money.
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, in FL there's a packs folder, and you can get a bunch of drums here. Get a bunch of drum sounds, kick, HQ sounds, some good stuff. And then for
Hopefully
sound
you guys can hear
generations,
that
let's
FL
see.
Studio.
Hopefully. And then let's see, where are some of the base programs like for they have GMS, right? If it works, let's see what else will work. They don't have contact. Oh, I
Paying
think
for
they have
VSTs is based, but no one has any money.
Plus.
There are some really good ones you can pay for if you're willing to get into this. Like, there's a rabbit hole of VSTs, so many of them. And then sample libraries are like goodbye an entire year's worth of paycheck if you really want to get all the good stuff.
Nothing's working the way I want it to right now.
Thanks, FL Studio. Yeah, basically, when you
That's
want to
bad.
start with something, the easiest way is just to pick a song that you like a style, be it EDM or like So Great and Powerful or some kind of rock music. And you kind of have to experiment. You have to be willing to be stupid to make music.
Really
Because if
stupid.
you're not dumb and you can get frustrated easy, it's really hard to keep on doing this. Because you have to be willing to hear something that sounds good and clap your hands and just keep on going. Because
You have to
there is a learning curve to this when it comes to actually getting what you want in your head onto the actual
Oh yeah, I
bar
hit that
itself.
wall firsthand, bro. I don't know shit about audio like whatsoever, but I like listening to beats. So what I've been doing is just listening to beats and then trying to replicate it. And all the shit I've made so far sounds like dog water to me. I don't know why I hate it so much. But I've been making some good stuff recently. We can share that later on. But it's a learning curve. But when you stick to it, you can make something that sounds pretty good. It's something you like, something other people can like. Make it really
Very
simple.
stupid and get frustrated easy.
Yeah, basically.
You have to brain off. Make good sound that sound funny. That's how you make music. Is just make
Get
good
two
sound.
pots and smash together and make a rhythm with it, and then you just move on from that, basically.
Basically, generally, like I said, start with drums, bass. Maybe dick around on a piano and just play some notes, and just kind of go from there. It's kind of hard to do this exactly within the small time window we have, but we can go over one of the PlonyTones song unless someone has any specific questions on anything.
Do you want to do
Let's
the
go.
PlonyTone song, the one we've been working on, or should I just show what I've been doing, just for reference for other people that are learning stuff?
I was gonna show the Smile song since that is still
Okay,
kind of a
yeah,
work
yeah.
in progress. I can kind of show some thought pattern and the stuff I actually have for this and kind of what I'm doing. Now, this was originally a very old I made this a long time ago. So this gonna sound kind of poo poo stinky. That should come up as a test to make sure everyone can hear that. And I'll kind of go over what you're seeing here because even if no one uses Pro Tools here, the general like principles still apply to this about what you want to do for making music. So at least for me, I have vocals from here with a bunch of effects and stuff. You have you don't have to do this. You could just have one single VST with drums. You'll have your drums here. I split them up because I don't know why I did that 8 years ago. Then you have bass synths maybe. And for me, I have guitars here as well from rhythm and then lead. And then maybe you'll have your synth tracks like trumpets or pads. So it's good to have stuff organized and have stuff labeled. when you don't label your tracks, it can get very confusing, very easy. So let's see how this sounds back when I kind of left this originally. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll go through part of it. I am going to mute the vocals initially, though.
Fair.
I think this sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. This shit heat. This shit heat. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, first thing that usually people start with are drums. Now, what I would typically suggest doing is just create a track, get your drum VST. I use Contact because money, and then just load up a drum kit. And most of these DAWs have a way where you can just smash your keyboard and play notes. You don't actually have to buy like a MIDI keyboard to do this, which makes this much easier because trying to do this stuff without like having anything to like press buttons with can be annoying. I'll just pretend like we're using this. So you load up a drum kit, and I am going to see if I can quickly figure out how to do this. Okay. They're still loading up. Let's see. Sometimes you have to go down the octave to find where the drums actually start. Or Pro Tools is just garbage at MIDI. Okay, we're gonna pretend like this would do something. But you're gonna have a keyboard like this pop up where you can like press keys on here and it'll make noise based off like notes here. And we're just gonna pretend like this is working. This is helpful if you want to like, if you actually want to like bang out a drum beat on like a keyboard, because it can be tricky to do it the other way, which is what is, I think it's Alt equal. Most DAWs will have also something like this, which is like your MIDI roll, where you like use this to just put notes down, and then when you hit play, let me solo this. Wow, it sounds terrible, but you'll actually get, you know, music. Let's actually not just hit a bunch of random notes making jazz music.
That was a bit disrespectful to jazz music, but I get what you mean.
Jazz music is nice because if you play it wrong, you just do it more, and then you did it right.
Yeah, sure thing, buddy.
That's what I was taught in school. It's like, here's your, make a fat beat. And that's basically how you start with the drums, and you just keep on going. Again, like FL has a bunch of free samples, which is really nice. You can go online and search free drum VST. In fact, you can do that with most things. Free VST, free synth VST, free bass VST.
Yeah, I have a
drums.
bunch of free VSTs.
Like, it is you really do not have to pay a lot of money to get started with like music.
Really don't.
A lot of it is like pretty free. It's basically, yeah, it's welfare con. You don't need a lot.
I only
so
like
you start with your drums. That's one of the first things. From there, you, at least with rock music, you would add a bass next.
Mm-hmm.
And for other music like more electronic, usually there's some kind of bass to some low notes. This is how old this is. This is before I had a bass. So what I did
Wow.
is I recorded a guitar and then just pitched it down and pretended like it was a bass. So if you're really poor and like you have one instrument to record and you can't afford more, you can just pitch it up and down and pretend. It doesn't sound fantastic, but if you're broke, this is a sneaky way of doing things. Tips with the PlonyTones. Now the bass is usually would follow either what like the guitars are doing, or it's going to be like the anchor for the song, and like kind of the help with the rhythm. Because a lot of times the drums and bass are what really drive the song. So you want those two to work like in tandem with each other and really be able to like connect well, which takes time. But bang out stuff on the keyboard sounds good. It is good. And Matt, I don't have anything to say about you for like more of the hippity hoppity style of music when it comes to drums and bass.
It's pretty much the same formula. You usually focus on if you want to use a specific sample or if you want to make your own kind of generations of music. And then once you got that down, you usually go to the bass and then the drums. So I guess it's the reverse process of you because you went for the drums then the bass. For like for EDM, I would guess in general, you would go for the bass of it and then the drum pattern. And then you go for any other like high-end sounds or midways.
So there's not really one right way to do this. There's a lot of ways to do the like music, but you kind of understand the general like ways of doing things.
Honestly, you could just do it any way you want. This is just the way
Yeah.
we process it to make it easier for us. Honestly, you can make anything sound good if you just put enough time to it.
If you dig around with it enough, it can sound good. But having the basics, knowing the rules, but then knowing how to break them is like a good way to do things. Let me turn myself down and
Level 100
turn
plus.
Nessa because I just heard you guys the bounce is a little off. Okay. So bass, drums, and then guitars, specifically for at least rock. Generally, a good thing for guitar is once you figure out what you want to do, a good recording trick is to record the guitar twice and have one hand all the way to the left and have one hand all the way to the right. And what this does is the way the brain processes differences in pitch and like timing makes the guitar sound really wide and really like heavy, if you want to say.
Oh yeah, real quick, I saw someone in the chat teaching how to say, bro, we both sound like dead turkeys or dying turkeys if we try to sing. We can't. That has to be a different panel. We can't do that for you guys.
If
Nope.
only Fimphiliax was not on vacation skiing down the mountains.
Our other
He would
band
be here.
member, yeah, he could at least gave some pointers about singing, but nope, he's not here, so we can't do that.
Man Jesus also can sing, but he's also not here. He's probably touching his PP to femboys. So, you know, people got their priorities. Yeah, but unfortunately, neither of us can sing. However, I do have some vocals from Fim up here that we will look through. Yeah, as for guitars, to get the distortion on them, because a lot of times it just like, you know, driver guitars sound like this. If you have you use this, I'm assuming most of you don't have an amp that you can like mic up. And
what do you mean? Of course you'd assume that they're learning how to make music firsthand.
I know people who would buy the gear and have no idea what they're doing.
That makes sense.
Like,
honestly.
I bought the guitar, I bought the amp. Okay, time now to figure out how to do this. You'd be surprised. So, there are a lot of VSTs which basically model amps to give you that sound. I use Guitar Rig a lot, which of course, you know, money, haha. But you can find stuff out there that's like $20. I know there are some free like modeling VSTs for guitar as well. Not something you have to dump like a ton of money into to
not at all
get this. So then you turn that on, and then now you guys actually sound properly. So I wanna. Yeah, I'll go over this. Uh, Now when it actually comes to like getting the right tone for guitars, normally, not all of them will come with actual like the good sound part. There's like the distortion, and then there's the part of the amp that actually makes it sound proper. Just distortion alone sounds like this. Very brash, very painful into your ears.
Oh, my ears. Oh.
Sound is so loud. Turn yourselves up. Is the music too loud or are we too loud?
Yo, Chad, are we too loud? Or is the music too loud?
Is the music too loud? I'll turn the music down. How about that? Yeah. Doesn't sound good without the amp. So once you get basically what are called impulse responses, this allows you to actually have it sound good. Music is less distortion. This should sound better. I turned down the actual like music volume, so maybe it's not blasting your guys' ears anymore. I wish. Oh no, I don't have a link to it.
Uh-oh.
But to get these, there are a couple ways you can do this. Let's see here. A free one is called Pulse. What this does, and then you actually have to find the audio files online for this. You can find these free. You can find these for cheap as well. But you load something like this up, and then you just link to where like your impulse responses are. This is getting a little technical, probably, but it's hard to figure exactly how to teach without going too technical.
Impulses. Yeah, I think that's a bit
The
technical.
impulse response, and then you can make it actually sound good and not so like high end, like piercing in your ears. I wish I had like an actual link to some of these for people to download. I might put something together and then post that in chat here after this panel is done for anyone who wants some of these. Oh yeah, Guitar Rig also has a free version too. This is also an issue with music is gear syndrome or plugin syndrome, where you have a billion different like plugins you can use and you get drowned out in exactly what to do. I just, for me, like kind of just find a couple and stick to it. Try not to get too like lost in the amount of stuff you can actually do with this, because you can hear me like even during the stream, like there's so much to go over. It's hard like to keep this organized.
Also, you could do that, or you could just develop your own kind of pattern on how to refine sounds rather than going through all the different tools you have. Because that's happened to me too. I have like I don't know how many free VSTs. I just go to the ones that I'm familiar with, and if I get a sound but it doesn't sound the right way, I usually go to one of the other VSTs and see if they can fit the sound better than the one that I normally use. That's the main reason why I have so many. But yeah, those are two different processes you can do.
Yeah, multiple ways to do this. But so you have your guitars with the doubling. Like I'd always recommend you do that for any kind of like at least heavier music. Sometimes I'll even, and this one like I did, you can record, just duplicate the guitars already recorded, like just record them and then bring them down to a different track, and have two different types of sound, like a higher amp sound and a lower one, which can help really fill out like the actual sound of the guitars and make it sound a lot bigger. This is also helpful to actually have an amp to record, because recording stuff actually with a microphone is very tricky, especially with this tiny measure, like even just half an inch can dramatically change up what the microphone actually picks up. Which VSTs also help with that, because you don't have to actually mic up anything. So once you don't usually have to go too heavy, like crazy with a guitar, like for the rhythm. Some people will do like 12 tracks and they'll record the guitar like 6 or 12 times. I think that's rather unnecessary, but I do know there are some metal artists that like doing that, especially if you do more like epic orchestral type of stuff. And then kind of once you get your foundation there, like guitar, bass, and drums, then you can start adding different, kind of lead instruments. Like here, might sound a little heavy there, but these are kind of like the extra flavoring on top of the song that gives it give it that spice.
Give it a little bit
example,
of, yeah, a little kick to it. A little bit of flavor.
A little kick. See how the guitar's here? But I also added some extra, like, way up on the fretboard, like an octave up. Like extra guitars that are kind of playing the same thing. And then also did a double trick here.
What is an octave, may I ask?
Oh, music theory is... Oh, that could be a whole other panel in itself to describe music theory. Oh, geez, do I even want to get into that?
No. I was just joking.
Almost triggered me. I'm just gonna pretend like you guys know what an octave is. If not, go watch some music theory videos. Or there used to be a really good document from like the tempo threads that had like music theory laid out really well.
A lot of good stuff in tempo threads. I
have no idea if that still exists or not. But if you like combine these two, notice how that sounds like. That sounds bigger. That sounds better versus just one or the other. So music has a lot of layering. If you want big sound, more tracks, kind of. Not strictly that, but it's a good rule of thumb. Like, of course, softer stuff, like, you know, you could get away with even just a couple tracks if you like, if that's the process. If it sounds good, and that's what you do, is kind of what this is ultimately getting to.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's unsolo all of this. And then I know for at least this song, I also added some brass and kind of orchestral instruments there. So, in general, I have like, there's a brass here. It's kind of like a trumpet here. I think I have a lower trumpet here. And then a synth. And then a high synth. And then like an organ.
God damn, you definitely
figure out what sound you want. You can just make a bunch of different tracks and just have a bunch of sounds and combine them all together until it kind of gets to what like you want it to sound like.
You're making a whole orchestra over there, golly.
Yes, because if you hold on, do I actually have hold on, let me do a little Among Us. Let's make a synth track.
Well, Among Us.
Because this can be intimidating for newbies, even veterans.
Yeah, looking at your project, definitely. You got like 50 different tabs.
It's like, if you're trying to make a synth, like, from scratch here, like, I use Absinthe a lot. There's, of course, a billion of these. This can be really hard. A lot of these do have, like, you know, presets, which I'd highly recommend you go through and just click on stuff and just kind of see what sounds good. And if you find something that's like, oh, I kind of like that, then either watch YouTube videos or just go in here and start start messing with stuff. Just start clicking buttons and see what happens. And if something sounds good, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So there's nothing wrong with starting with presets. I have Absinthe. I have never used it. Okay, you're bad.
I still use preset. You know what you gotta do? Shoot me?
Maybe.
You ain't got no gun.
Use guns.
Alright, move on. Alright, move on.
But yes, sometimes just stack a bunch of synths, play around with the synths, use presets. Like, you can go ham with this to try and figure out what sounds you want. That could, again, be its own video to learn how to use a synthesizer as well. Oh, is that too loud? Let's see. And then here, this is just more strings, more trumpets. Especially for, like, if you're trying to simulate orchestral stuff. Frozen Rain or Frozen Night is not here. I wish he was, because he could get more insight into this. But again, if you want something to sound kind of more orchestral, more live, sometimes you have to layer a bunch of stuff, because you have just like one. Or where is the synth that's actually playing?
I think the reason you would want to layer more sounds is because it makes the sound itself more like compact. What's the word I'm looking for? It's expanding
Dense?
upon a yeah, dense. There we go. It fills
Yeah,
out the
fills out.
sound.
Which can be something that's people starting out are like, how do you make this sound so big? How do you make it sound so massive?
If all else fails, just use reverb, bro.
Yeah, true. Frozen Rain. But yes,
Reverb and
sometimes you
stereo
just have
shit.
to stack a bunch of sounds together. There is sometimes you don't want to add. Here's the tricky part: you don't want to add too much stuff, but you don't want to add too little. So you really have to. You practice listening. You have to really listen to the squiggly air. I wish there was an easy way to oh, do you add this many tracks for this thing? But there's not really any one particular way to do this. You really have to experiment with a lot of these.
I do it.
Let's see. Okay, so that's kind of the general instrumental I have is some synths, the brass, the rhythm guitars, the leads, the bass, and drums. Yeah, for a lot of especially rock, that's pretty standard for most things you'll do.
Mhm.
Even in the hippity hoppity music, it's
Yeah,
fairly similar as well.
I can show them my processes if you want to, just real quick.
Yeah, let's do that before I go into actual like vocal stuff. FL time.
Yo, FL time. All right, here's the bass DAW, the one that you can control easily. You can control the volume of it easily, so
Bass.
your ears don't get blown out immediately. But let me load up this project I've been working on. I don't think it's the best, but it's getting there. So with this song, I was just doing "Love Is in Bloom," but I was making it into a chill Jersey kind of beat. But I'll play a little bit of it, and I'll tell you my processes. So let's see. We turn it down a bit.
This shouldn't be nearly as loud because it's not pedal to the metal heavy music.
Yeah. Not saying suck. All right, so that's basically what I'm working on so far. The way I started this was basically because I've been trying to remix "Love Is in Bloom" for the past 2 years now, and I couldn't settle on anything. But I finally got something that made it sound worthwhile. So let me go to the first one. Let's see. The first thing I did was I just chopped it up until I made this pattern that I thought sounded pretty good. That's basically what I did first. I just chopped it up, making things sound good. And then I tried to mix it with the voice, which I kind of think I did well, but it sounds a little bit overblown.
Also, they're pretty balanced.
Yeah. Then I was like, what kind of beat do I want to make this into? I like Jersey Club. I've been listening to a lot of Jersey Club beats. I think them shits are heat. So I was like, let me just add a little bit of that. And that's what I got right here. So that's what I got there. And then I was like, there isn't any substance behind it. So then let me scroll up. Let me solo the. I just started making a bunch of different sounds and mashing them. So let's see. Let's just play this one. I just made a little lead, like a little lead here. And then I add the bells.
And this is where music theory comes in to know like what notes to actually place in the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the key of D, let's say.
I don't hear.
It's like, oh, what notes do we use in this? Instead of hitting random like stuff on the keyboard, if you kind of understand music theory, it's like, oh, if it's in the key of D minor, you can figure out what notes are going to sound good based off the song that you're using.
Bro, honestly, I barely know that shit. What I do is I Google scales and I see what scales I Google and I match it with the scale that's with the original vocal, and then that's the way I make the music. I completely forget
If it
what
works, it
scale
works.
this is. I completely forget what scale this is. But then I added the bass line. I like this bass line a lot actually.
M major for mirrors.
Hold on. Hold on. This is just my music autism. I want to see what this sounds like. Yeah, that sounds heat. But yeah. That's basically my process of making music. I just like to look around. I basically, what's the word I'm looking for? I draw a heavy inspiration from other things, obviously. I don't really want to make music. I can't say that. I like making music that are original to me, but I also like making music that's appreciative of other content. So I like mix and matching things. So that's basically how that's my process of making music. I have another song, but I lost it. If Zanga could find it, it's the cherry. No, not cherry. What was it?
I know it's downloaded somewhere, but I don't have a dang clue where I put it.
Oh, we can worry about that later. But yeah, this is basically my process. We can move on.
Show the where do you get the MIDI roller for FL Studio for adding the funny notes?
The MIDI roller. Oh,
Pressing MIDI
in
notes.
FL Studio, you can see up top here. There's a bunch of different widgets, I'd say, or buttons. So you get to the MIDI roll, it'll be the piano with the notes on it. You just press that up, and this gets you the MIDI. So if you have a sound, if I were, let's see, let's do the bell. There we go. So Omnisphere is loaded up. Can you hear that? That's basically how the MIDIs work. You just come in here, piano roll, and then you just place notes to where you think they sound good. Whoa.
So you see there are quite a variety of ways to do this.
Yeah, this is just the way I do it. Yeah, with FO, you can just place notes.
Similar to Pro Tools, PlonyTones. They all operate fairly similar. So once you kind of learn one, you can relatively translate between all of them. There really isn't a DAW where it's like dramatically different. At least most of them. Okay, so
Actually, hold on. I want to ask chat. Hey, chat, do you want me to play this whole song out, or do you want us to move on real quick? See what they say about it. Because I kind of want to show it off a little bit more. Because I spent a lot of time on this video. It's a little around 2 minutes.
Play people. Let them vibe to the music.
I'll play it from the beginning.
Some PlonyTones advertisement at MareCon. for sus.
She's not saying sus. That's not. She's not saying sus.
I can't undo
Dickhead.
sus.
But yeah, that's basically all that is. I got other stuff working on, but this is a good starter to show other people.
It's very
Like
chill.
I started making music 2 years ago, and I can make this. So like any of you can honestly do better than me. To be completely honest.
And this is with Massa like rage quitting most of his songs and still.
Oh yeah, I could never get sounds working the way I want to, so I rage quit like more than 125,000 times.
There was a lot of rage quitting, but still figured it out. So like, just if you keep on going, you'll figure this out.
Yep.
You trust your ears. And then when you look back in like 2 to 5 years, you'll listen to all your old stuff, and then you'll start crying, get butt naked at Waffle House. Okay. I think there's two things left for us to show for questions. One is just some vocal stuff, and then a AI vocal plugin that we found that is
Oh yes,
extremely
sir.
helpful.
Yes, sir. That's how I made the song with that plugin.
Do you ever dabble in hard electronic music? I tried at one point and I was bad at it, and then I didn't do it again. But my focus is more on guitar-based music.
What do you mean by hard electronic music? Because I've done a lot of.
What does it mean
I've
by
done a
hard?
lot of. I've done a lot. I've done drum and bass. I've done trap hop, trap hip hop. I've done a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, Ultimate Vocal Remover.
Yeah, Ultimate Vocal Remover, so good. But what were you gonna get into before that one?
Okay, well, we'll just do the vocal stuff. So, for those of you who want to work on your actual vocals, this is how I generally tell people to record stuff. Is well, this has already been kind of chopped up, but first, create a track, like this, for example, and then just go through and record your vocal to the song. If you're not good enough to do that because singing is hard, you can essentially just like there we go. Record pieces of this. Like, okay, I'm gonna sing this. I gotta sing the pre-verse. So you do that, and it's like, okay, so that's good. Did that one. Then you maybe go down here and you create a new track. And then mic one, start the recording. And then like, okay, let me go to the verse. And then record the second one. And then after you kind of get all your takes, either you chop them, you record in pieces, or if you're good enough, just record one whole take. At that point, and this is what I'm doing with Fim's vocals at the moment, is you just go through and listen and figure out, okay, what are the good parts and what are the bad parts? So if we're listening to like this.
My name is Pinkie Pie, and I am here to say, I'm gonna make you smile and I will brighten up your day.
So let's say that this sounded sussy right here. We don't like this. Depending on what dialect, you can separate it and then you can mute it. And then let's say you go down here to a different take and you're listening.
I'm gonna make you smile.
It's like, oh, that sounds much better. So you can zoom in, and with practice, you can kind of look at a waveform and you can figure out where parts are being sung and not sung. So I can tell, like, he starts. I'm gonna go to here, slip. I can tell he starts right here. And I know at the smile right here, it gets big, gets loud, so you can tell, okay.
Yeah, damn, look at that waveform.
Oh, if you're mile, it's missing the S. So I want to go back a little bit.
Smiling now.
So, okay. I know there's the actual start of the word, so I can cut that. And then start at the beginning here. And then you can move this up. And then let's unmute this. And let's see if this actually sounded any good when I did this.
I'm gonna make you smile and I.
A little sloppy, but sometimes you can add fades as well, and that'll help transition between them.
I'm gonna make you smile and I will brighten.
There we go. Not the vocal take I would have used together, but you can kind of see where we're going at here is you can take bits and pieces from other vocals that you've done and combine them into one track and act like you did this in one take.
I'm gonna make you smile
You
and I.
definitely act like it. It is not the truth.
Because sometimes you capture really you're really passionate about it. You love your wife like in that moment more than anything else.
In that
And
moment,
the rest, the whole take's good, but then you mess up on one part. Sometimes you want to just replace that one part and not try to capture that like really powerful performance instead of redoing the whole vocal track. Since we're not in the days of analog tape anymore.
It sounds
if you
very
mess up,
beautiful to me.
You're just done for. And so for up here, I'm gonna mute these. Take this off. So I kind of did some of that here for myself.
My name is Pinkie Pie, and I'm here to say
These vocals aren't really
I'm
mixed
gonna
at
make
all.
you smile and I will brighten up your day.
But also, like with the guitars, you can layer vocals as well. So when you put multiple together, instead of sounding like this,
My name is Pinkie Pie.
it can sound like this.
Wow,
My name
amazing.
is Pinkie Pie.
And then let's say you pan some of the extra background vocals down and turn those down a little, the extra ones, just a
Truly
tad, and then you can
breathtaking
get a
My name is Pinkie Pie.
like it sounds a lot more full than just
My name is Pinkie Pie.
which I know a lot of songs do that. Again, part of just filling out the space, adding those layers together. And sometimes you can add a bunch of different vocal layers, like a whole lot of them. Sometimes, again, like if you know what you're doing, 10 plus different octaves. Like
I've seen people stack like 50 plus. I've seen a YouTube video where a guy only used acapella, and I think he used Pro Tools as well. And it was around 200 to 250 tracks of just acapella. I think it's called Moon River. Yo, look that up. That shit's heat. That's nothing but acapella. He ate that shit.
yeah, you can go crazy with this. So
So TLDR, layering good. Layering thumbs up or hooves up. Yep.
layering good. Layering very good. That's pretty much all I had, at least for myself. Besides the ultimate vocal remover, I don't know if there's any particular questions. Let's see. No, I don't see any particular questions from the chat. Yeah, like layering times 4 vocals, very common. Times 8. And like sometimes they'll have the main vocal line and then like upper vocal line or lower vocal line. They'll like take all those and mix all those together, and then you basically turn yourself into an instrument. So it's pretty nutty what you can do. Like honestly, just like start recording, start exploring, and see what you can make. Because you'd be surprised. Sometimes things just fall into place just right. I guess we'll go with the ultimate vocal remover now.
Yep, we can do that.
So, this is really nice. Now there are a lot of Pony like actual just stripped down vocals and instrumentals out there. But for songs that you can't find that or have disappeared.
Yeah, I specifically had this problem, especially with what I wanted to do, because for the life of me, I could not find later season songs that had the vocals removed from it, and I just couldn't make any more songs other than the first gen ones. I just couldn't find those vocals. Well, this is a really nifty tool. Also, I was kind of too lazy to look around on the internet to actually find that, so I just found this tool one day and I just started using it. It basically
It's
cuts
free.
out. Yeah, it's free. It's completely. What's the word I'm looking for? When it's open source. Yeah. Anyone can add, subtract, models to it. It just sounds really good when you get used to it. What it basically does is that it can cut vocal tracks from the instrumental of like almost any song, and it does it using AI. And there's a bunch of different models that do different things. Like there's some models that gets rid of the reverb. There's some models that ah what else could they do?
They can take out just the drums or just the bass or just the
Oh
guitar,
yeah. It could get really specific. It is pretty crazy.
which is also helpful if you want to figure out how to play something, for example. You can just isolate just the drums or just the bass, whatever, and kind of listen to what the artist is. I don't know how AI is crazy, man. Like, so you can hear what the actual artist did to create the song. It can be a good referencing too,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes when you don't know what to do in a song, being able to listen to what each piece of something you like is being done can give you good ideas for, okay, they're doing this, then let me just kind of copy this. I remember a good quote that I heard is, "There's no more like original music. Everything is just a remix now." Like, good artists create, great artists steal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I pirate everything. With actual listening in general, though, really simple. Select here what file you want. Select here where you want it to go. I always use ensemble mode, at least personally. There's GitHub links with this where you can have people who dived autistically in depth with this
I'm
to
pretty
be
I'm pretty
more
sure
like,
the ensemble mode is specifically made for music because it picks
yeah.
apart layers of an ensemble.
And
So I
then you
think
can
that's
choose, vocals, others, drums, bass. Then you have your quality basically, like max vocal, minimum processing in the instrumental, max everything, balls to the wall. Because this is pretty intensive if you don't like have the hardware for it. If your computer's
yeah.
GPU poo poo, this could take a long time for it to actually get this to work.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just usually, if you have a good GPU conversion, and then you can pick vocals only, instrumental, yada yada, and then you select your models, which you can download more of online. Again, all for free. Start processing, and then I have a link here where, so if you go to this, this should take you to a folder where I have an example just for the theme.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the original, you can hear that, you hear the vocals extracted, and you hear the instrumental. There are some artifacts to this, like it sound a little washy because AI is of course not perfect.
Yeah, but some post processing and just whittle that out.
Yeah, and of course the higher quality song, like if it's a wave where there's more information, because MP3s they strip out a lot of info. Uh, a full wave with actually everything in it will probably get you a better result. But it's really cool. Like I highly recommend this. Like this
Because
is
right,
really good for if you want to get some vocal chops too. Oh man, it's so
yeah,
good.
it's so good. I'm working on a frenemies song now, and now that I have this program, bro, this shit about to be banger. But yeah,
But
that's basically
that's
what
what
UVRS does.
UVRSD's nuts.
These nuts.
Yeah, that's basically all we have for this panel. I don't know if anyone has any particular questions or
Any
anything.
questions? Any questions, children? I
There's
mean,
some people do the vocal layer, pitch it down an octave, and make it barely audible to me. So yeah, that's a good trick people use.
there's a
I'm
lot of
surprised
tricks you can do.
there's so many tricks.
Bro, in music in general, there's so many workarounds to get whatever you want. It's different from art. It's like way different from like drawing art. Because I draw art as well, where you can do a couple techniques that like help you with layering and like layer mask and stuff. But with music, you can literally strip everything and add nothing, and it'll make it sound better somehow. It's crazy what you can do with music.
Funny squiggly air.
Funny squiggly air. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah, Pro Tools industry standard back when it was industry standard, and then they wouldn't let go of that, and then they are getting left behind because people figured out, wait a second, charging $1,000 for a program is people aren't going to buy this. People don't have money. And then the next generation uses free DAWs, and it's like, uh-oh. But this is not an Avid Sucks rant panel.
It should be. I'm
See
so
the
glad I
extract
got
vocal
F
track
up.
for the songs from the vocal track of the show. If you can get the stems, like okay, if you have the stems for a song, like the actual like just pure vocal track, that's gonna be better than AI.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can't get that unless the person who has the original session actually renders that out themselves. You can't just get that from a song like that's already been like combined together and mixed up.
Yeah, and I was also too lazy to look for it. So this
Oh,
AI
me
is pretty
screw the
good.
CBT. Any other questions anyone has? Anything?
Oh, I could play another. I could play another. I have one more song I could play if they want to hear that
One
before
more
we leave.
song to jam out.
It's another chill song. I don't have any crazy songs right now.
That is true. If you can get the 5.1 mix of songs, which a lot of the show is, he's right there. The vocals are usually in the center channel. That's 5.1 standard mixing is vocals and sound effects center channel, and then everything else in the other speakers. So that is kind of one cheesy way to get the vocal track out of something if it is in 5.1. Although that's more for shows. Music is rarely in strict music is rarely 5.1, unfortunately, but any kind of like TV or show, or whatever movie, usually there's a 5.1 mix where you can take out the center channel and get your vocals that way too. What would you say your favorite free VST? Okay. For at least mixing, well, no, this guy. One of my favorite compressors. This is free from Klanghelm. Compressors. What these basically do is it takes a sound from being really loud or really quiet, it squashes it, and makes it all the same volume. This thing is so nice. I use it on so many different tracks, and it's so smooth. It does such a good job at kind of leveling out odd like volumes. Totally free. Highly recommend this one. As for free instrumental, let's see. What instrumentals do I have that might be free here? Because I use a lot of native instrument stuff, which is you can find it for free. Yeah, nothing's. I don't know, Master. Do you have like a really good free VST?
Let me think. Let me look through my library here.
Yeah, that DC1A.
I did get a recent VST. What was it? It was a drum kit. It was actually really useful. If I could find it and not be stupid.
Like for synth, at least for synths, a lot of times just searching up free synth VST,
Yeah, you basically get what you want doing that.
you can get a lot of what you want from that. Because there's so many of them. Like there does come a point where buying like some actual plugins is worth it, just because there are sounds you want that are really hard to get if you can't pirate it, or just stick to free stuff.
Oh, I got a bunch of you.
I'm not sure if Supercharger is free. I know Native Instruments does do free promo stuff every now and then.
Maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff is I have costs money.
Oh yeah, this.
Oh, hold on, let me go back to Discord.
I forgot I was working on this. Here's another little example. I was trying to do some.
We're pretty much done, unless
Yeah,
has
we're
something
pretty done.
like they just desperately want to know. But if not, that is basically music with the PlonyTones. Hopefully
Yeah,
this was helpful. In some way, there was a lot to go over, and wasn't entirely sure what to start with, but
I feel like we helped a
yep,
couple people.
that was that. Play some music, jam out a little bit. Mayor Fair, PlonyTones at Mayor Fair. Watch out for that. Hopefully on stage. We're working on some music now.
Hey,
If
that's
Massa wants to post a link to the YouTube channel in the chat, we're gonna be uploading some stuff on there pretty soon. So hopefully you will see us there. And everyone love your mares.
can't do anything but love them.
Okay, yep, that's the panel.